could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've
'Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
talking about my generation.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome here. As tonight we are going to set up the heats for tomorrow night's Clash Open, which will be the precursor to the Season 6 Clash for the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. I'm Seth Cole, and here this evening we've got 25 drivers who have not qualified their way into the Clash this year, formerly known as the Bud Shootout, and we're getting ready to take to Bowman Gray, where these drivers will go out there and they'll try and set the fastest qualifying lap times. Now, explain how this is all going to go down in terms of who's at the top of the board, who's at the bottom of the board. Really, this is just going to determine who's going to be in which particular heat tomorrow evening, and really how it's going to work is we're going to take the qualifying laps and we're going to kind of split them into chunks of 4. So the fastest driver here tonight will be the pole sitter for heat number 1. Second fastest tonight will be pole sitter for heat number 2. Third fastest will be pole sitter for heat number 3. And fourth fastest will be pole sitter for heat number 4. We'll have 4 Clash Open heat races tomorrow night, in which we will have at least 6 drivers in each one of those heats. I believe Heat 1's going to have 7 drivers. Top 2 from those respective heats, they move on into the Clash main event, and then we'll have our LCQ race where the rest of the field will take part. No cautions in this, as they're going to have a total of 20 minutes to be able to try and set down the lap times necessary to get them into their respective heats. As lap times are already being laid down, so we will have them scrolling on the top of your screen. Cold Beaver, who was the first one out, is currently the highest on the board in that number 08 Wheaties Chevrolet Camaro. 34 drivers were eligible to... Oh, we got a wreck here on the back straightaway. Reese Banks and Jovan Anderson just got together. It was right in front of Cold Beaver. These drivers will be able to go back to pit lane, be able to work on these race cars if they have damage. Is that Daniel Voiles going down below the rumble strip to make a pass on Anderson? I think Anderson might be just off the pace and trying to get to pit road, as he was the one that got the 44 there on the back straightaway. But these drivers are going to have the opportunity to go back behind the wall, repair race cars if they have damage out here on the racetrack. I think the big area where they're going to have to give these race cars a little TLC is going to be on the right side. You saw just there off of turn 2, Benjamin Snyder getting into that steel guardrail. And that's going to be the trouble spot, I think, all weekend long, whether you are in the Clash or whether you're in the Clash Open. So as I was mentioning before that incident there on the back straightaway, 34 drivers were eligible in making their way into the Clash via a pole position this season. Only 13 were in the Duracell Cup Series field here this year. So those drivers were locked in, and then 4 drivers were also locked into the Clash, being past champions. Those drivers included Kyle Matthews, Carson Gumm, Caleb Vogler, and Chris Dollerton. So as of right now, we sit at a total of 17 drivers that are locked into the Clash. The Clash can only hold a total, I believe, of 28 cars in the field. And so therefore, 2 drivers the top 2 finishers from each qualifying heat tomorrow night will advance. That will bring our total up to 25. And then in the last chance qualifier, the top 3 will make up the remaining of the 28 car field. Trying to find the 83 of William Howard. There he is, the Louisville Automotive rookie. Lego Ford, as he's now coming to pit road. You see he was at the top of the board just moments ago, and now Ryan Brommer in the 87 out of Auto Junction Racing has jumped to the top of the board. So as you see here, scrolling across the top of your screen, Ryan Brommer, he'd be the pole sitter right now for Heat 1. Howard would be pole sitter for Heat 2. Osborne, pole sitter for Heat 3. And RJ Bishop, who's now up to 4th, would be the pole sitter for the 4th heat. Jack Durand currently in 5th. That means that he would start on the outside of the front row for heat number 1. So that's basically how it works. 1st through 4th are your pole sitters. 5th through 8th are your 2nd place starters. 9th through 12th, 3rd place, on down. As we look at Benjamin Miles in the 25. Co-owner of Northeast Motorsports. Really a lot of names, a lot of big names that were not locked into the Clash, including Ryan Brommer, Benjamin Miles, Dylan Young, Jesse Turner. A lot of big names that did not lock themselves in. Mitchell Collins is going to have to be in the Open. Rob Evans, you see, just pulling out onto the racetrack there. Now, originally, this was going to be, the LA Coliseum, but the last I saw, someone was working on it, and it has not been completed. We ran Bowman Gray for the Clash last season. It was a really good race, and so we're back here again this season, and should be good. We didn't do heat races and stuff last year, but kind of taking a page out of the booklet of how NASCAR did the Clash back in the start of the 2022 season. Should be a lot of fun. Another driver, another big name that's not locked into the Clash. Gonna be a lot of eyes on that number 8 when we eventually get to Daytona. Matt Haas, of course, the defending winner of the Great American Race. Right now he is 15th on the board. Also, as I mentioned, I believe this is back during one of the testing sessions, going to be trying to get a rotating panel of, whoa, Fitzwater, rotating panel of commentators up here in the booth. I believe we're going to have at least Michael Norman and maybe Dylan Poteet, two drivers who are locked into the Clash. They'll be up in the booth tomorrow night for the Clash Open heat races and the LCQ, so that should be good. And of course, it'll be taking place tomorrow night, and then the Clash itself will be taking place tomorrow night as well. The Clash Open going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the Clash at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to tune in for both of those events here at Bowman Gray. Benjamin Miles, I'll tell you what, if you tuned into any of our testing sessions, our preseason Thunder testing sessions, Benjamin Miles always seemed to be up near the top of the board in terms of speeds, and showing it again here is he got run out of room off of turn 2 from the 89 of Quentin Moore, and now both the 89 and the 25 going to hit pit lane. Oh, and Ryan Brommer, that's an issue coming off of pit road. It's kind of like a hidden driveway when you come off of pit lane, and I think they were double wide there with Laura Chung and James Qualls. Now Qualls is coming to pit lane, and the 87 got spun around. Bishop was 4th on the board a little while ago, and now he's dropped to 12th. The speeds are definitely picking up here the longer this session goes on, as Jesse Turner is now up to 2nd, Noah Hendrickson to 3rd, and Dylan Young just now jumped up to the 4th position. As we look at this number 2 Hooters Ford Mustang, you want to listen to what it's like when you make your way around Bowman Gray? Here's On Board with the Hooters Cam. Very little on the throttle time there, letting it coast through the corner. Trying, if possible, not to hit the rumble strip there on the inside line with the left side tires. You could hear we were on board with Dylan Young. Jovan Anderson was closing in a ton, and oh, was going to get the wall. That could have been a really good lap for the 93, but threw it away there in the final corner, as Jovan currently sits 8th on the board. Collins on pit road. There's Benjamin Miles in the 25, which looks like he might be coming back out. Oh, and now just ahead of him there's Quentin Moore and Jack Durand. No, actually, Miles is pulling into his stall. Durand, Keith Batson got slowed up there. That's the tough thing about just how close these drivers race here at Bowman Gray as well. You might be on a flyer of a lap, and then all of a sudden they're wrecking off the following corner, and you have to get on the brakes, and what was looking like was going to be a really good lap time is all for naught. Reese Banks had an early issue. He's back out on the racetrack there. Entry out of Lake Effect Autosport. One of 2 rookies for that team this year, as he's right now tracking 22nd of the 25 drivers at a 15.053. I don't know if you necessarily want clean racetrack to turn a lap, or if you want to get a little whiff of draft. I don't know how much draft would actually come into play, to be honest with you. Keith Batson all over the back of James Qualls. ushering him into turn 2. Now he'll look to the inside in the 39. Right now, Qualls is 18th on the board. Batson's 21st, dropped to 22nd now. Let's give a little love to the rookie Noah Hendrickson. Where's he at? I think he might be on pit road right now. RJ Bishop and Zachary Fitzwater on pit lane. There's Jesse Turner. Hendrickson just now came back out of the racetrack there, as Turner had to check up for Destin Boland's 12, merging back onto the track there in the exit of turn 4. Did Hendrickson come back to pit road? Trying to find him. Oh, he is back on pit road. There's Joshua Osborne, 27. He's 14th right now. So that would place him third place starter in Heat 2. I'll run down. Oh, we got a spin up ahead. Daniel Voiles and Rob Evans have gotten together. That's the one good thing here about Bowman Gray as well. There's so little on the throttle time. I mean, these drivers are down to about 40 miles per hour in the corners. So if you get involved in a wreck or a spin or something, it's not going to take you out of it. A lot of these drivers, you'll notice, come to pit lane, they come right back out, just beat out the sheet metal. Nothing that really is going to be a hit that'll damage the interior parts of the race car, enough to take them out of this session, which is winding down rapidly, and now Osborne goes around after some contact with Fitzwater, and they're still wrecking back there. Hendrickson just got spun by Samuel Ryder. Takes a shot from Benjamin Snyder in the 74 also. So he may be third on the board, but Hendrickson's not been able to put down a lot of lap time since then. Been on pit road for a good portion of last 10 minutes or so, and he's back to pit road again. So Miles, Turner, Hendrickson, and Young are currently the drivers that are designated to be the pole sitters for the upcoming heat races tomorrow night. Track position, I think, is going to be key as well. So while you would think that this is a session that's not going to mean much, I honestly think it does. You want to be up inside at least the top 8 in speeds to make sure you're going to be on the front row for the respective qualifying heats. You don't want to have to rely on that LCQ. We were on board with Dylan Young. We saw the 24 of Reggie Fogelman get spun around. He was 18th, now 19th on the board. Somebody just leapfrogged him that last time around. Boland, Banks, saw Matt Haas, Mitchell Collins, got Laura Chung, Snyder, Miles, Qualls, Hendrickson, all on pit road. You can't see a number of those drivers in the first half of pit lane because of the stands blocking the way and the big building back there as well. I believe there's like the main offices in there. I think there's a skybox up there as well. William Hoer, who was up at the top of the board for a time, is right now sitting 6th. RJ Bishop in the wall there off of 2, riding the steel guardrail. Looks like he's coming to pit road. Batson right now 22nd. Got some pretty clean racetrack in front of him. Let's see if he can do anything with it. His fastest lap of 14.988. No, he overdrove turn 2 a ton right there. Fifth place right now for Ryan Brommer, so he would share the front row with Benjamin Miles currently in Heat 1. And again, reminder, tomorrow night, tune in as we get the 6th season of the Duracell Cup Series underway with the Clash Open at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the Clash at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on NNSCRA TV. In case you're wondering, we will have the defending champion who ended up winning the Clash here at Bowman Gray last season, Ryan Brommer. I make that Ryan Butcher, rather. Wrong Ryan. Ryan Butcher. He'll be in the Clash tomorrow night. And we will also have Michael Norman in the Clash. He was the winner back in Season 2, but wasn't here at Bowman Gray. The other two previous winners of the Clash, they will not be in the field. Season 3, it was William Brock. Season 4, it was Benny Watson. Obviously, Season 1, we didn't have a Clash because we didn't have any previous pole sitters, since it was the first season of competition. Rob Evans right now is the last car on the board, which means that he would start 5th, correction, 7th rather, in heat race number 1. Again, with there being, oh wow, Rob Evans and Will Hoer run each other out of room, but with there being an odd number of drivers here, 25 in total, trying to qualify their way into the Clash, we will have 6 drivers in heats 2 through 4, but we will have 7 drivers in heat 1. Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm not saying that right. No, I think I got it. 6, 6, 6 is 18, and 7 is 25. Yeah, math checks out. Well, Mitchell Collins we saw sitting on pit road for a long period of time, and apparently it was a good thing, because Collins has jumped up to 6th on the board. So they got whatever adjustments done on that Pennzoil Ford Mustang that they needed, as almost 3 wide there through 3 and 4. Reese Banks and Sam Ryder were involved in that near 3 wide scenario. 14.834 for Mitchell Collins. Behind Brommer, Young, Hendrickson, Turner, and Miles. Current top 5. Of course, these drivers gonna get short track racing out of their system in preparation for the Daytona 500. We're gonna be bringing you a lot of coverage of that during the course of the weekend. Following this, you got pole day qualifying, you got your Blame Shelley Insurance duels, you got the Great American Race to kick off the season. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on tap here. Always seems to be at the beginning of a Duracell Cup Series season, and we're going big this year. We've crossed the threshold of 5 seasons. We're into season 6, and it's time to step things up. Fitzwaters jumped up into the top 10. He's now up to 8th. That would be outside of the front row for heat race number 2. Oh, big stack up there. Big pile up as Destin Bolin spun around going into turn 1. Fitzwaters going to clear that. Bolin's still trying to get turned around. Nobody's letting him. Now he finds a little bit of space to be able to get that Kellogg's Ford Mustang point in the right direction. Oh, and now Benjamin Snyder's gotten spun around there. Might have been trying to come to pit lane as Destin Bolin gets into Sam Ryder. Wonder if those two might have had a little skirmish there off of 4 that led to the 12 being spun around. It's a short track, and short tracks lead to short tempers. There's no points on the line tomorrow night. So there's nothing that says that these guys aren't going to be mixing it up and push coming to shove, coming to dump. Only a handful of seconds left here in this qualifying session. It doesn't look like anybody is going to be able to get Benjamin Miles 14.726 at the top of the board. Turner, Hendrickson, and Young look like they may also be safe to be the respective pole sitters for the upcoming heat races tomorrow night. Again, top 2 in the heat races tomorrow evening transfer into the Clash. Top 3 of the remaining drivers in the LCQ will make up the remainder of the Clash field. And then it's all put into a random qualifying generator as to who's going to start where for the main event race. Just waiting for the few seconds to run off the board here before it is official, but it certainly looks like the 4 aforementioned pole sitters for the respective heats are going to be set in stone. Miles, Turner, Hendrickson, and Young. Pretty good representation of different manufacturers up there as well, as you've got a Chevrolet at the top of the board, a Toyota in third, and 2 Ford Mustangs in second and fourth. And then right behind them, you've got Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet. So, yeah, very good representation amongst all three of the manufacturers there. As Miles will be the pole sitter for Heat 1, Turner pole sitter for Heat 2, Hendrickson pole sitter for Heat 3, and Dylan Young will be pole sitter for Heat 4. Second place starting for the respective heats, Brommer in Heat 1, Hoer Heat 2, Collins Heat 3, Fitzwater Heat 4. Third place starting spots for Heat 1, Richard Johnson, Benjamin Snyder, Heat 2, Destin Bolin, Heat 3, Laura Chung, Heat 4. Fourth place starter on the outside of row 2, Heat 1, Reese Banks, Heat 2, Cole Deaver, Heat 3, Joshua Osborne, Heat 4, RJ Bishop. Fifth place starter for the respective heats, Jack Dunnard, Heat number 1, Quentin Moore, Heat number 2, Reggie Fogelman, Heat 3, James Qualls, Heat 4. And then sixth place starting spot for Heat 1, Rob Evans, Heat 2, Matt Haas, Heat 3, Keith Batson, Heat 4, Samuel Ryder. Daniel Voiles will start 7th in Heat number 1. So that's basically where they'll all start. 7 drivers in Heat 1, 6 drivers in Heats 2 through 4. Congratulations to the pole sitters for tonight's event. We'll see if that track position is going to pay dividends for them advancing into the main event of the Clash tomorrow night. Thank you for tuning into this qualifying session. We'll see you guys tomorrow night as we're going to be bringing you coverage of the Clash Open Heats, the Clash Open Last Chance Qualifier. Those will be starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we bring you coverage of the Season 6, the 5th annual, if you will, Duracell Cup Series Clash. Second time we do it here under the lights at Bowman Gray Stadium. But until then, if you enjoyed tonight's qualifying session, be sure to give me a like, subscribe, become a part of the crew today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Clash. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.